How anxious attachment sabotages your relationships. How anxious attachment sabotages your dating experience, your dating stages. I mean, anxious attachment could sabotage even a first date compared to a relationship. And I understand we all have an attachment style. Everyone's got either anxious or avoidant. So I've talked about this earlier in other videos and in my coaching programs, how to develop a secure attachment. So I sympathize with anyone who has anxiety. I'm very understanding and sensitive to anyone who is going through anxious moments. That's something to understand and really want to work on personally, individually, or with a professional. But you don't want to rely on someone in the dating world, dating apps, dating stages to be the reason to calm your anxiety down. That's something you need to be more in tune with yourself and how to get better at. So when I've had a lot of situations, clients, comments, and viewers, even on my lives, who are very anxious types, anxious attachment, they do the same 7 things that I'm about to go over it. And it's interesting that they don't take the accountability on themselves. They blame the person. They blame the relationship. They blame the lack of understanding, patience of the other person. They basically complain about everything but then what they could do for themselves. So number 1 is this. How anxious attachment sabotages your dating experience, dating moments, also relationships, is you completely lose yourself and obsess over the person 24/7. It's great to be excited with someone. It's great to be connected with someone. It's great that you guys are getting along. It's great that the things are going great. I love that. But if you completely lose yourself, you're always searching their social media. You're always available for a text message. You can't really even focus because you're so excited about something. Or you can't even focus and you're obsessed with them because you're suspicious of them. Do those 2 scenarios even sound healthy for you? You don't care about yourself of your life enough. You only care about what he or she's doing because you're so excited. Doesn't sound very mature or healthy. Or you don't care about what you're doing or what you are about in your life because you're suspicious and constantly on edge, anxious that someone's doing something wrong to you. Someone's judging you. Someone's cheating on you. Someone's messaging someone. The anxiety of the anxious attachment can go either towards an unhealthy situation where someone's basically taking advantage of you, manipulating you, criticizing you, cheating on you, and you're constantly suspicious and you're still in that relationship and you still basically fuel your anxiety. You don't pay attention to the actual problem. You just stay anxious because you like to be anxious when you realize you got to get out of that relationship. Or on the flip side, things are going great, things are going well, you're getting to know each other. You guys aren't there yet, but you're now over-escalating the situation, magnifying everything, and just only see the person. Only look at the future. And you lose touch of yourself. You lose yourself. You lose touch of being present. You lose being in the moment. The key thing about that one, because it's one thing if someone is suspicious of bad behavior, bad judgment, bad character, cheating, being unfaithful. We have a bigger question than anxiety or anxious attachment. Why are you with this person? Why are you trusting this person? Why are you allowing this? Different topic. But if you have anxiety where you're only obsessed about this person because things are going well, I can understand the excitement. I'm excited for you. But the key thing is when you lose yourself in those moments, you don't pay attention to the details. You don't pay attention to the small things. I've had a client not too long ago in a scenario where I was very excited about everything, but she didn't really pay attention to certain things where now she realizes what he said. And she's like, wow, he's actually quite self-absorbed. Wow, he does talk about his exes a lot. Wow, he always needs validation. And I was like, why didn't you not bring this up earlier in our coaching call? Well, because things were going fine, but now his behavior is showing questionable feelings. And I'm like, oh, so you were paying attention to what then? That we get along, that we have a lot in common, that we're both attracted to each other. He's funny. He was a gentleman, charming. I was like, okay. He could be all those things, which sounds great, but you weren't paying attention to the fact that he always needed compliments or validation. Talks about his exes too much. Very self-absorbed, where he talks about himself a lot. No, I kind of got caught up with the idea of us hanging out and being together. And when we weren't, I was anxious because she's anxious attachment, waiting for the next time. The thing about anxious attachment is that you're waiting for the next time, or you're waiting for a problem so you can actually find something. There's something wrong with someone. You're constantly anxious of something for good reasons, or looking for a bad thing to validate your insecurity. It's a very vicious cycle I've seen so far. If you have anxious attachment and you notice you're sabotaging your relationships, you're sabotaging your dating experience, even your first dates, send me a message. I'm going to help you out on this. I'm going to help you find your secure attachment. Everyone can, everyone should. The two common similar traits in both anxious and avoidant people, that why they are those reasons of why they're anxious and avoidant, are self-esteem, low self-esteem, and insecurity. Avoidant people are different than anxious people, but the two things that bring them both together is insecurity and low self-esteem, and why someone continues to stay avoidant or why someone continues to stay anxious. We need to focus on those two things to develop secure attachment, which is what I can help you out with. Which leads to number 2. This all goes in chronological order too. Number 2, how anxious attachment sabotages your relationship. You're constantly paranoid that they'll abandon you. So you overanalyze their behavior. You overanalyze and you cause problems. You're too good. Something's wrong with you. What is it? Why would you use that emoji? That's weird. Hold on. Are you exclamation point text message? Are you yelling at me? You overanalyze everything. You overanalyze and cause problems, cause fights, cause insecurity, cause fears, because you're anxious all the time. I always said this before. If you're anxious, if you have anxiety, which I understand and respect, don't date someone with questionable lifestyle or character. I don't care how good looking, how fun, how adventurous their lifestyle is. If you have anxiety in general, do not date someone with questionable character or lifestyle. They're going to bring you anxiety because they have questionable characteristics and they have questionable lifestyles. They're a partier, nightlife, open eyes. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that person. But for you to make them something they're not, or try to manage that and not think you have anxiety, not going to work. I'm going to repeat that again. If you have anxiety, do not date someone with questionable character or lifestyle. They're going to give you anxiety unintentionally because they're in a different place in their life. So if you have anxiety, you should value someone with high character and a healthy lifestyle. And then you realize, okay, I'm not triggered so often. I'm not so paranoid. I'm not thinking they'll abandon me all the time if I'm not fun, flirty, and attractive all the time. I don't need to overanalyze everything and cause problems because they have high character. They have a healthy lifestyle. They're an adult. They're mature. They know what they want. They know what they're looking for. They're clear with their intentions. Their actions match their words. Then you have less anxiety. You probably have just more simple, minor anxious moments, which we all have, but you're not stirring the pot. You're not putting fuel to the fire. You're not sabotaging yourself. So if you have anxiety, anxious attachment, do not date someone with questionable character or lifestyle. It's a bad recipe. I want you all to think about this, because then again, it goes to number 3. Again, chronological order. You start to become increasingly possessive and jealous. How your anxiety, your anxious attachment sabotages your relationships. You lose yourself You M&M yourself. Then you're paranoid all the time because you either are insecure, low self-esteem within yourself, which is understandable. We all are. You haven't worked on yourself. Or you attract and trying to date someone with questionable character or lifestyle. So you start to become increasingly possessive and jealous, threatened by everybody in the room, everyone on social media. You make everyone a threat. You lose your attraction. You lose your value. You lose your integrity. You lose your dignity. Because again, like I said in the very beginning, you can't answer bad habits with a good habit person. You can't fix yourself through someone else. You got to learn how to get better at it from yourself. You don't need to perfect it, own it, graduate from it, but get better at it from yourself before you date and expect someone to be the answer to your anxiety, the answer to your anxious attachment, which I've heard the opposite. To be someone's answer to their avoidant, that's annoying. That's annoying. You want someone who has anxious or avoidant attachment styles, which we all have, but they don't let it get in the way. They know how to confront it. They know how to acknowledge it. They know how to express it. I'm a little avoidant. Guilty. Why? Personal reasons. Won't go there now, but I like to handle things on my own. I don't like asking for help. But I realized that was a weakness. I realized through going through a lot, that only limited my actual ability, my potential. Because I had to control everything. So when I finally worked on that and researched where this came from or how this became that way, I was like, you know what? I don't feel like I need to always do everything on my own. And asking for help on the right people, it's fun. Makes the situation easier. I'm choosing the right person to ask for help, so I trust their judgment, so I know they're going to not only help me, but probably teach me something. And this makes this whole experience even more enjoyable or somewhat smoother than what I thought I'd have to do all on my own, because that's the way I was. Not anymore. Now I know how to confront my avoidant attachment in any relationship to be like, I'm open. Let's talk about this. Again, develop and secure attachment within yourself. That being said, I want to hear your feedback, comments. I want to hear your opinion on anxious attachment, how you feel like it sabotaged your relationship. Maybe your ex did that to you. Maybe you're not aware of it. How to find secure attachment. If you need any interest, if you have any interest in coaching, you let me know. You send me a message. I'm here to help you with this secure attachment. How to understand to not sabotage your relationships because of anxious attachment. I'm going to say it again. Anyone with anxiety, which I understand and I respect, don't date someone with questionable character or lifestyle. It's a bad formula. Stay tuned because I got part 2 of this video up next. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Always appreciate your support. See you soon.